beating Atlanta in Atlanta 7-5. Tampa Bay Rays went and took home the win against the Florida Marlins, or I guess actually they're Miami Marlins now. I'm sorry, not Florida. 4-2. Um, Cincinnati Reds beat the Pirates 4-3. Detroit Tigers beat the Indians 7-1 today, and the Blue Jays beat the Yankees 7-1 also. And then the Orioles took home the win against the Red Sox 5-2, where we saw the lovely bomb take place just a little bit ago. And then we've got some games that are actually going on right now. We've got the Brewers and the Cardinals in a bit of a nail biter over here with a tie game of 4-4, and they're in the top of the 10th inning right now. So they're go ahead and making the extra innings, making it fun for the fans. So that'll be interesting to see how that one plays out today. We've also got the Texas Rangers and the Houston Astros. Astros are winning 6-2 right now in the top of the 9th inning, but the Rangers have two on and only one out. So they may be trying to make a little bit of a comeback here right now. We've got the Phillies and the Cubs playing. Phillies are winning 7-0 in the bottom of the 4th, but the Cubs got 3 on, 2 outs. So we'll see if they can capitalize on that, because if not, that's going to be hard to come back from going into the 5th inning chasing 7. We've also got your team in a bit of a nail biter today. We've got you guys playing the Giants playing the Dodgers, and it's a tie game 2-2 over here in the top of the 3rd. So, and you guys actually have no one on yet with 2 outs. So, looks like it might continue to be a nail biter over there in LA.
Yeah, yeah.
So we've got some interesting baseball going on today. It's the
Interesting
beginning of the
baseball.
season, though.
Beginning of the season, yeah, and kind of conversation we were just having off the air about wins versus losses right now.
Yes.
It doesn't matter now.
A little bit.
When does it matter?
A little bit.
And it's funny, the Mariners GM Jerry Dipoto was just asked about their slow start, but he said he's confident there's a turnaround. They're 11-15 right now, and they're asking
who's 11-15?
the Mariners.
Oh, yeah.
They're asking him.
Yeah,
about
our division
that.
has a 3-way tie for last place right now.
So I'd imagine the Giants sitting at 9-17, they probably have their concerns just as well.
Yeah. You guys have a significant loss, though, in your division for the West Coast. You guys actually, the Rockies are leading your division 16-10, so you guys are chasing 7 games, where the Mariners, they are 11-15, and they are last place, but the A's and the Rangers are both 11-14, so they're basically kind of tied. They only have one more loss because they've played one more game for as far as the Mariners go, and our top play. Other than that, we've got the Angels at 14-13 and Houston at 16. So it's only a 5-game difference in our division, but it's like all 3 teams are all in that same bracket. The Giants are going to have to do something to change whatever they're doing right now. It's not serious, but can you go that way the whole season and expect to, one, win your division, or at the very least, win the wild card in order to be able to make it to playoffs? Do you see that happening if you're chasing last place consistently throughout the season, even in the beginning months when they supposedly don't matter?
I mean, I could see it. It could work both ways. It can get you motivated to get your season going, and that can further transfer or develop into more success in the postseason.
Okay.
Or it could drain you out. By the time you get there, you put so much effort into just getting back to a wild card spot that you don't have nothing left for the postseason, and therefore some injuries might occur, or just don't have the bats when you need them. I just think it's just it's probably a mixture of things. Crawford's not out there. The bullpen hasn't been doing the best, and one thing again, the bats for the Giants aren't up to par right now. But I don't see anything that can't be fixed. They can't be rectified. it is a big, oh my gosh, this is gonna hurt us for the rest of the season.
No, but did you think they were going to come out and have a spectacular season? I mean, don't get me wrong. I know as sports fans, we always say that we always feel like there's some hope. You know what I mean, or progression that we want to see our team have. But are you thinking
No,
it's
I
they're in it for the ship this year? Like that they're gonna.
I thought it was possible. I thought that maybe they
Really?
got some pieces down the line that they could scare some people. Maybe.
You're
but
more optimistic of a sports fan
that's
than
more
I am,
than-
I guess. Then
That's more than that's as optimistic as I could be.
that's more than me.
Scaring somebody and hopefully beating somebody out. That's about
Hey.
it. It's one of those years that, yeah, we have some talent. It's just not enough talent to overtake. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I do. I just
Like we'll be there for a little while.
being an A's fan. That's kind of how we felt for a while. Like, man, we're gonna make the playoffs, but that's about all we're gonna do.
Right.
Like, we're gonna be there. We're not gonna be on our couch just yet with the rest of everybody. But we got maybe one or two teams that we're gonna face, and then we're probably going home. But I mean, even then, I can't remember the last time that I felt that way. Maybe when we played the single header against Kansas City to go into the playoffs. That was the one. It was like, okay, we're gonna make the playoffs, but I don't know how well we're gonna do. And then we lost.
Right.
We lost it the first game. I was so mad. But as an A's fan, you kind of get used to that. You get into these seasons where you don't expect the championship.
Yeah. So I mean, how much? So then what are you watching for? Are you watching because you're a fan of the game? Are you watching because you're a fan of the players? Or are you just watching, or are you not watching?
I watch some, but it's a combination. It's a combination of liking the players, and that's my team.
Because when you know your team is consistently gonna be consistent at doing nothing in the postseason, how much are you engaged? Or are you like the Cleveland Indians fans from what's the baseball movie?
Major League.
Major League. Yeah, where they were all optimistic, but as soon as the season started, they knew what was coming.
That's tough. Yeah, I mean, but even then, you still had those people out there with the season tickets, even being like, you stink, you bum, and throwing the balls back at you. I think it's kind of a combination. You get a little bit. You just don't want to get too overexcited, I guess, is the best way to put it. Because, you should understand this being a Raiders fan. You get, how much can you do when your management and your owners are literally making it impossible for you to compete on the level that you need to compete consistently. Yeah. So you really have no choice. You roll with it. You hope for the best. You watch to see what good things are coming out of your team and what they're doing that year. You wait to see how management is going to make you want to quit being a fan and walk away, and then you get over it and you come back and you enjoy it because it is still your team. And me, it's personal reasons, just because that's. For me, it will always be the Oakland Coliseum will be baseball for me. Mm-hmm. So that makes it. I'm an A's fan.
I mean, they're once again they're you can talk about them. They're 11-14 right now.
Yeah, we're not doing too bad.
5 back in that little tie right there, but we'll see. And that's what I say to a lot of this. We'll see. One another thing while we are on the A's. Chris Davis.
Yes.
If he's going to get his first All-Star game nod.
I would like to see it. I actually think he's doing pretty well.
Yeah, I'd have to agree there. But, there's Rajai Davis.
He's already had... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yonder Alonso.
Yeah.
I was just naming some people out there that he has to go against to get that vote. get that nod.
But he's also, I mean, we're like you said, he's what? They're 11 in. What's their record? 11-9, 11-5.
11-14.
11-14.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, I was way off. So we're still in the beginning of the season. He's already got 7 bombs.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, 7 bombs, and it's early. It is early in the season.
Yeah, I agree.
That he did that.
Yep. 22 hits, 17 RBIs, 15 walks. Seems like a pretty significant number. Oh, but 29 strikeouts. It's not bad.
No, I mean he's got five home runs in the Coliseum so far. So he likes it at home, and that's good for us. So
Yeah. He's third in MLB in homers. What is he in RBIs? He's pretty far down there. By about 27.
he's leading home runs for Oakland. I'm sorry, he has 10 now. That was actually the report of 7 was from a few days ago.
Yeah, he's third in MLB right now.
His on base percentage too is good. He's leading the A's with 374. And RBIs with 17.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's having a decent season so far. If it continues, yes, because he's coming off of another tremendous year last year. So if the uptick continues, I would give him the nod.
Hey, I'm going to give the nod to anybody who's got a slugging percentage of .659.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
And an on-base percentage of .374. Like, even if your batting average is, even then, .268, which still isn't that bad. So you got a .268 batting average, but a slugging percentage over .650? Yeah. Come on over. Red Rover. Send Chris Davis on over.
So you see the Cubs doing something again?
I'm not surprised. I called it early on that I thought the Indians and the Cubs were both going to have a really strong season after last season. They did not change a lot in their preseason except for to do better. So for them to, I didn't see what they did, but I'm not surprised. What are they doing? What are they doing over there on the East Coast?
Oh, they're just oh man.
Lost it on you?
Yeah, hold on. Froze it on me. Give me a second. Sorry about that. They were in first in the Central at 13-11. Washington is 17-8 over there in the East. They just won their last game. That's who I want to see actually do something.
It's the Cubs? Yeah.
I know, the Nationals.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why the Nationals?
I just think it's time. I mean, they've had a few good seasons.
True. They're killing their division.
Cubs got their win, so maybe it's time for somebody else. Or we want to see a dynasty by the Cubs. It will take some time for that.
What about the Indians? My son is really hoping that the Indians win it this season. We're not even Indians fans, but since you went ahead and brought up the movie, it brings this right to the front of my mind that he's dying to be able to say the line from the movie if they win. So they when they lost to Chicago this last year, he was a little bummed. So he's hoping they take it. The Indians aren't looking too bad either. Their division is actually relatively close, though. They've got 4 teams, 4 out of 5 that are all within 1 game of each other, all between 12 and 14 games. So the only one that's not doing so hot down there is Kansas City,
Yeah.
doing 8-16.
They're 2-11 on the road, which is
Ooh, I see that.
bad. Seattle's 5-12 on the road.
Ooh, the Rangers are 3-7. They're the only one that looks like they're even close to the Royals' road statistic. And the Giants, you guys are 3-9 on the road. You guys are awesome lately.
Yeah.
But you're 6-8 at home, so that's not that bad.
Yeah. I mean,
it's not great, but it's almost 500.
The current theme of the league right now is if you're winning on the road,
You're winning. You're doing okay.
Pretty good right now in the season.
That's what it's looking like, because
most of these teams are above 500 by 3 or 4 games. When you have Washington is 10-3 on the road.
Yeah.
Seattle, Chicago's the Cubbies are 9-6. So
Indians 8-5.
Yeah. Colorado's 9-4. You winning on the road right now.
Yeah. You're up there.
You're leading the division, or you're close to it.
Goodness.
And I guess that says something for your team. But
the Cubs need to start winning at home, though.
Are you more concerned with playing on the road bad or playing at home bad?
Personally, playing at home bad, because that's somewhere where you should feel comfortable with. You should be fairly hot at home consistently.
It's easier to catch that, to catch fire. If you're having a bad night, maybe turn it around easier at home as opposed to being on the road.
Yeah, I mean, you have your fans behind you. You have the local everything behind you. Plus, you don't have to deal with the travel of to and from the game. So you're not as jet lagged. You're not as tired. It's a little bit easier to get into it.
Sorry about that.
No, go ahead.
And I guess another question. I guess the first question would be, as players, when you think about it yourself, do you like playing at home or do you like playing on the road? Which do you prefer? Do you have a problem playing on the road? Some people don't like playing on the road and can't perform well, just based off of being on the road.
I enjoy it. I would think most people do.
Crowds or whatnot. Other people thrive, flourish. They love being on the road.
It depends. It really depends on where you go. With most teams, there's been games where we'd have tournaments or something, and you dread it. And whether it's the fans or the quality of the field. There are just some places that you don't necessarily like. And sure, obviously some of it's being from maybe an opposing team or from an opposing area, but it still doesn't take it away. Like, you try to make the most out of it, but usually it's specifics to those cities and the people. For the most part, traveling for games, it can be a lot of fun. It's just, it can be tiring, especially, I imagine, if you're doing it 80 games in a 4-5 month period, traveling for 80 games. Like, that can't be easy. I've had stories where my friends have told me where they've literally been on a bus because they were minor league baseball, and they were on a bus for nearly 2 weeks straight, like, aside from their games, to get off the bus and go play their games and change, they're showering and getting right back on the bus and driving to their next location. So in those situations, it burns you out. You've had players who literally, they don't want to do the travel of it and quit baseball for it. So it's a commitment. You know, it's hard. It's definitely a journey. You're living in a bus with 30-40 other people for 6 months. But if you love the sport enough, I imagine it would be worth it.
Yeah, I think that's what it comes down to, love for it. I mean, money can give you everything, but if you don't love, if you still got a problem getting up in the morning or getting a problem being on that bus or train or plane, at some point you're gonna be pissed off.
You're gonna get burnt out and be over it.
Well, one funny news before we look at some other stuff out here. Can you explain to the listeners out there what a weight is used for on a bat?
What a weight is used for on a bat, like on the end of the bat? It's for how do I explain it easily? to get your hands through the zone faster. So when you have your swing, just like I'm sure anybody who watched baseball, you see these guys take their practice swings, or if you've gone to the cages or played the sport yourself, you always have your warm-up swings. You put the weight on the handle where your hands go, and then let it drop down to the end of the baseball bat. So when it has it down there, it makes your bat a little bit heavier. So when you're swinging it and you're getting that weight through, while you're doing your practice swings, you're trying to get your timing down for that pitcher so that you're getting your hands through the zone fast enough to get the front end of your bat through the zone at the right time. So by doing that weight, as soon as you remove it, your hands and your bat explode through the zone at double the speed of what it was previously, because you were just practicing on a much heavier bat than what you're swinging now because you remove the weight. So it's great. I have them. I've had a couple of them. But then I use weighted softballs too for warm up, which is great. A lot of people, I was not aware of this as a kid for the beginning of my playing career. But weighted toys and tools for warm up are fantastic. You go from throwing a ball that you feel like you can barely get it 50 feet to the person that you're throwing, to now you're throwing a softball that you feel like it weighs like a feather and you're throwing lasers. So, and you don't hurt yourself as much because with the heavier bats and the heavier balls, you have to slowly go through those movements so that you're not straining yourself. And so it definitely helps with warm up.
Well, the funny story that I was just reading earlier today, Adam Jones, the weight wouldn't slide off.
Oh, he had it stuck on there?
Stuck, yeah. Have you ever had that issue?
No, but usually with softball, we don't have a lot of, we don't have wax on our bats or the tar so that their hands stick, especially with wooden bats in Major League. They use tar a lot because they don't want to lose their grip on them. But in softball, usually you have aluminum, so we don't, it slides off fairly easily, or for us, you just hit the end of the bat, the handle part, you flip it back around and hit that down onto the ground by your foot, and it'll loosen the weight to where it'll drop off, and then you can just kick it over to the side.
Yeah, he was slamming it down on the base. It still wouldn't come off. Took it over to his buddy.
Slid it right off?
Yeah.
Like loosened in a jar for him?
Yeah. And then gave the crowd a little flex, a little bicep flex.
Oh, that's pretty funny. Yeah, those things are they're problematic, but they're great. I've definitely not ever had that happen though.
Yeah, I can say me neither.
Have you used one before though?
I could say no to that.
Okay. Well, that makes a little bit more sense.
So, another thing before we go to break here, I want to talk about baseball fights. Well,
yes.
As I pulled this one up, the bench is cleared in Houston tonight against the Astros and the Texans. The Lance McCullers Jr. threw behind the batter.
Okay.
I don't know if you got a chance
wild
to see
pitch
it.
Or
well, let me see. It didn't look like a wild pitch. It looked like a basic pitch.
Oh, like he intentionally threw it there?
Yeah. But it wasn't close. Here we go again as we get the video popped up.
When did it happen?
That is the second quarter.
Second quarter?
Gosh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I'm just glad I'm not the one who made that mistake on this show. Like, I've always worried about being the one to do that and say, like, field goal or touchdown or something talking about baseball. But I'm so glad it was you that did that and not me. So I just want to thank you for that, because that was just... that finally I'm not the first person to do that on this show, so It's all right.
Does it make you feel good?
It does. It actually makes me feel great because you have the first off, being a female in sports, you already get that, and I know I don't get that here because I'm not looked at like different because I'm a girl that plays sports. But usually you do. So to be the only female with two males on a sports show, well, usually it's two males if we can get everybody to show. But yeah, to be the only girl and then do something like that, I feel like I would never live it down.
Would have been bad for you?
I would have never lived it down.
Okay.
So, but I'm glad it was you.
All right.
So,
I'll take it.
Yeah, okay, good.
So,
because you're owning it. Because I'm not going to let you live it down.
It's top of the sixth here. The Texans are up 2-1. They are up to bat. McCullers Jr. is pitching, and Napoli is up to bat. He's 2 for 2. Two on, top of six. So here we go.
Oh.
Now, when I look at that,
it looks like it just got away from him.
It looked like he might have got away from him, but it wasn't close enough. There has to be something else that has happened.
I
don't see any they're not giving me any context from this information I was looking up.
Yeah, they were up 2-1. So, who's up to bat? Texas.
Texas.
Texas was up. Okay. Houston threw that, and they're up. They're losing by 1. I don't know. It's hard to say. Like you need to see the actual picture. I'd have to really see it.
Okay, so my question is for you: if you're on the Rangers,
yeah,
and you're up to bat right there,
yeah,
and there's nothing else that happened.
Nothing before that or there was no comments or anything.
That pitch happened. Are you? I'm
not going to charge the thing, but I'm going to give you a warning. I'm going to let you know if that wasn't an accident and it happens again, that it's going to be a problem. But you kind of have to give the benefit of the doubt in most situations, especially if there was no interaction before that. Like if they're not butting heads or anything like that, like that team, they're chasing, but it's not like it's a blowout. They're chasing by 1. It's 2-1. So you're not going to just throw the game away over that unless you have some bad blood with that person already or from a previous game. Then maybe if that's the situation, then yeah, maybe because that's how baseball can be. A lot. That's how baseball is a lot of the times.
Yeah. You understand baseball has a lot of small things in there. Some don't make sense, but it's baseball.
Well, and because it's a team sport, you kind of get that. You get the camaraderie, but you also have that where you end up kind of getting looped into situations that don't even necessarily have anything to do with you. Like two guys arguing and a pitcher throws at the other team. Now everybody is involved because that pitcher just threw at someone intentionally. And you get benches clearing or it's they get serious and they kind of tend to hold grudges, so that's why you end up having these rivalries. I mean, look at how many times it's affected the fans, not even the players. How many times do you see people go like Dodgers and Giants, for example, where people were getting beat up going to the opposing stadium just to go watch their team in the other city? And you have fans taking it to that extreme. So I can't imagine that while I know the players seem to be a little bit more level-headed most of the time, when you're in the game and it is that rivalry, there are going to be those moments that maybe do heat up and people do. There are pitchers that they're going to give you chin music. If you're crowding the plate and you're not giving them the strike zone, they're going to make you give them the strike zone. Because if they hit you and you're leaning into the strike zone, it's not an automatic base. It's a dead ball because you were in the strike zone. So, yeah, now you got a nice little shiner that you can't rub, and you still got to hit the ball. So, if they can line it up and you're that close, then it's going to happen.
It's funny then when you said that you don't see a lot of more major league players wear the helmet.
No, yeah, And as fast as that ball comes in, you would think that some of them do, some of them would.
Extra guard or whatever, all the extras that you
Right.
can have.
But look at some players like man, I wish I could remember his name. This was like 1995. He was the Seattle Mariners first baseman.
And
he would wear the
helmet,
solid
right?
yeah, he would wear the solid helmet. It was basically the hitting helmet without the ears on it.
Yeah.
Because he had gotten beamed a couple of times over there because those balls, man, they come in fast. I've had, when I play co-ed, I have to wear an extra padded protector in my glove for when these guys throw from left field to infield, because they throw rockets and they've bust blood vessels in my hand to where all of a sudden it's purple and you can't bend your fingers. So
be prepared, know your sport.
Yeah, it's serious business, folks.
So we're gonna cut to another break. Our last break. When we come back, we'll
Wrap up
with some NFL news.
Yeah.
Cover some NBA games that are coming up tomorrow night. This is that's SG. Not
I'm
me.
SG.
I'm Alex.
That's
This is
Alex.
KXVS Sports Tonight. We'll be back after this.
Stay tuned.
Hey, there's my son. You've been in your room all morning.
Hey, Dad.
Matt, what's wrong with your voice?
There is nothing wrong with my voice.
Oh, well, it's just sort of.
I have been playing my video games and electronic games for so